like you, I love James Bond and Jason Bourne, but I had never traveled outside of my home country really up until that point. So a lot of it was okay. So I'm going to start this nerdy website. Hadn't even thought about like, oh, what if we turned life into a game? That kind of happened organically. It was okay. Wait a second. If I'm writing about nerdy stuff, like, ooh, what if I write an article about James Bond? What does that look like? Ooh, okay. How would I, if I were to become I guess a non-assassination version of James Bond, or a legal James Bond, what would that look like? Okay, well, there's certain things I would have to do, and I would have to train in a certain way, and that's an interesting idea. Like, let's flesh that out, and let's write an article about that. Or, hey, that game I used to play for 40 hours a week in addition to my job? Like, what is it about the game that I love? And it was like, oh, I love the idea of making progress. I love the idea of seeing progress. I love the idea of grouping up with other people. And I love the idea of exploring far off lands and wondering what's around that next corner. And realizing, like, oh, that's all of the stuff that I love, from The Hobbit to Harry Potter to Lord of the Rings to it's a lot of these things follow the same archetype, Indiana Jones. So it was, all right, I think I'm starting to get somewhere with this. And then it was just consistently kind of iterating on that. So, okay, all right, we're going to try to become Indiana Jones. All right, well, Indiana Jones likes to explore ancient ruins. And, oh, I can get a cheap flight to Peru. And Machu Picchu is ancient ruins. That seems like something Indiana Jones would do. Like, that seems pretty cool. Like, what would that look like? And how can I do it really, really cheaply? Because I didn't have any money. So it was identifying ways to do and kind of pay homage to my favorite characters and heroes and video games by trying to take the best elements of those things and like transpose them into a real life scenario that I can use to give myself a fun adventure, give myself a challenge, give myself a story to look back on, and kind of push myself outside of my comfort zone too.
Because it's amazing that you took something that like not a lot of people knew, but you took game theory and like the Tim Ferriss thing of, why wait till you're 60? Because why not take mini retirements now and going away and do the things you want while you've got the money, the resources, the health to go and do it. And when I seen your site, I was like, oh, I could get through spreadsheets at work by pretending I am Jack Bauer, try to stop a bomb by getting them down by a certain time, or, it started making fun. It's like, oh, I want to go away and try CrossFit because I want to be physically fit, like ready for anything, like Jack Bauer, like Jason Bourne even. And then I was like, oh, I need to go and build a community like the Fellowship. So I'm going to go and join a meetup group. And it completely changed my life. And I was like, whoa. And then I started roller coasting into these things. And there's so much amazing things there. Is that something that you think everybody could do? Is to take this sort of game theory and set up their own quest of awesomeness?
Yeah, I mean, probably not everybody. I bet there are some people that take life very seriously, and tons of people that stumble across nerd fitness and they're like, I like your services, but can you tone down the nerd part of it because it doesn't work for me? And I'm like, no.
The clues in the title.
Yeah, like this is kind of who we are, and we're proud of that.